You are now listening to the Inner Circle Podcast Network.
Never die. 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 Never die.
All right, it is Sunday, but this is going to come out on Monday. But before we get into today's podcast, I'd like to thank my podcast sponsors, Pit Boss Grills. Pit Boss Grills, look, game day is upon us. You want to smoke that meat, cook that meat, you can get hooked the fuck up at pitboss.com. Use the link in the notes. CH Concrete, serving the San Francisco Bay Area. That is CH Concrete, serving the San Francisco Bay Area. No job too big, no job too small. Residential, commercial, does not matter. CH Concrete can help you. Just mention the Angry Dad, and they'll take care of you. All right, Jags. Jags is a fully stocked preferred destination for all gearheads, professional racers, weekend warriors, restoration nuts who want to take their vehicle to the next fucking level. So get hooked the fuck up at jags.com. 511 Tactical. 511 Tactical's purpose-built clothes, footwear, bags, tactical gear for life's most demanding missions. And Hemp Bombs. Hemp Bombs is premium CBD, high-potency CBD. Feel great. Relax now at hempbombs.com. Official is a hip-hop-inspired street brand. Hats, hoodies, shirts. Get hooked the fuck up at official.com. You can get 25% off your order with code AngryDad at checkout. That is code AngryDad at checkout for 25% off. Now let's get right into today's episode. I got a special guest. He is from the Inner Circle. And you know the fuck what? This guy is in Hollywood. I got Mykie T from Failing Hollywood. What's up, brother?
What's up, Ben? How you doing?
Doing good. I was glad I was able to get that off in one take because the last couple times I've been mush mouth like a motherfucker.
I was actually a little bit surprised. Like, man, he does the reads every single time. You got to really. I mean, your sponsors have really got to show an appreciation for you because you're not just running a recorded ad every single time. Like, you're keeping it fresh at least.
Yeah. No, I always keep it fresh. You know what I'm saying? And like, I always feel like if I just add an ad in, or if I just like create one and put one in, it's just not as genuine as like just throwing it out there. Because guess what? Like, you know, like I got two Pit Boss grills. I got a standing vertical smoker. Oh, nice. I have a smaller smoker that I use on the weekends. I have a bigger one when I'm doing bigger things at the house. And then that smaller one is connected to a grill and a griddle. And so it's like, it's all in one. So, and everything I do, I cook and I smoke all my meats outside. So it's like, you know, like when they asked me to come on board with them, I was like, why would I not? You know what I'm saying?
Griddle in the smoker, or
well, like it's two combined. So I have a smoker on one side. It's like a little, maybe like 2 feet by 2 feet. And so it's like for just like small little things I'm gonna do quick. And then on their side, it's a propane griddle, grill. The grates come out, and then it's got a griddle that goes right into it, so I can swap it in and out whenever I want. So like smash burgers or fucking, you know, cooking bacon, doing breakfast outside, and not having to have the whole house smoking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty rad.
Oh no, let me tell you right now, like the thing, like growing up, I've always had Weber's or like real cheap barbecue pits.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're talking about the old school round ones, and you cook on them long enough, they burn through, they fall apart. And I've never ever like made that investment to like just buy a good one. And then when I did, I was like, oh my God, night and fucking day.
Yeah. Well, it's something about those. I mean, if you don't have a lot of money, those little circular ones, they're like $15 at Walmart.
Exactly.
So even if they do like burn through, you're just like, well, just go out and get another one. Yeah, a real one does make a little difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Because like, hey, those I will never ever knock my roots, because those little ones, they take a beating for the entire summer, getting moved, getting dumped, getting cleaned. And just like, and for those, for like myself, like you live in California now. You live in California. How long have you lived in California?
It's going on 12 years now.
Oh, you see, then you understand how the summer goes, because as soon as the summer hits and that sun, every weekend's a barbecue. Oh, I want some hamburgers. You can walk outside, start it up, and then boom, you got flame grilled barbecue going. And like I said, I've beaten the fuck out of them so many, and I bought so many, and it's like once I upgraded, I was like, this is like just being able to walk outside and click it on. Because I know people are purists. I gotta use charcoal. Let me tell you right now, I'm too fucking old. I don't want to go. I don't want to smell like smoke. I don't want to smell like barbecue. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want to click. Boosh. Good. Same thing with a pellet. Everyone's gonna talk shit about pellet grills. But let me tell you something right now. when you can set it and forget it and not have to fucking worry about it. The only thing I go out there is I check, make sure it didn't dry out. And that's it.
Yeah, I got the natural gas grill going out, like the inset into the outdoor bar.
Oh, yeah.
That thing is my best friend. I love that thing.
I love that. That's one of those things eventually I'd like to do where get a natural gas line outside, because I want to build like a little outside kitchen, just like how you just talked about, and just like a griddle, everything running off natural gas. I never have to fucking buy propane again, and fucking makes a difference.
Yeah, I got lucky with my the house came with it.
For all my listeners, you do a podcast called Failing Hollywood. You're a props fucking master. It blows my mind that I know someone like you, because being a prop master and working in film and doing these things, this is like behind the scene work. Like, you never notice what you're, and I always feel like if you're good at your job, no one ever notices what you do because it's seamless. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, after seeing all the things that you've done, I'm like, I look at movies completely and TV shows completely different. You know what I'm saying? Did you talk about the podcast and the shows?
Yeah. We talk about a lot of the shows and stuff on it, but what you're saying is, if I do my job right, you're never going to notice. And working in props, me and my wife notice it way too much. I don't know. We were watching, we just started getting into this new show. Since we're not really working right now, it's a really slow day or slow time in the industry, which I can get into in a little bit. But so we're all about like, well, let's see what the new episodics are not on or on. And the show that we've been watching right now is this like hospital show called New Amsterdam or whatever. And it's not a new show. It's got a few seasons or whatever.
Oh yeah, and I've seen it on the not Netflix, but one of those streaming services.
I think it might be Netflix. I don't know. It's one of them. But like, we start to notice like weird, like there's a girl sitting in a hospital bed and she's like holding her cell phone. And then if you like look closely at like the case, like where the freaking like circle thing is, you could tell that they needed a case to like cover the Apple symbol, but they didn't have the right like size case for the right cell phone. So it's like cut off of the camera, the little opening like that. And then we're like, what the fuck is that? And it's like sitting there like it's almost like this close to the camera. She's like, oh, like, and it's so fucking noticeable. It's like somebody didn't do their job. or they did. They just threw a fucking case off of a phone that doesn't really, it's not the right size for it, and didn't sit behind monitor and just go up to the actor and be like, hey, can you like maybe hold your phone like this instead? We're not going to notice that. Like, you notice that shit all the time. And here's what I've noticed also, when there's like a wine scene and there's like a cork in the bottle, the cork disappears and shows up in different shots. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of gets annoying. It takes me so much out of the show.
Well, it like when you told us that you were doing American Horror Stories, the horror stories, that because was that like third season, or I don't know how many.
First and second season of the stories.
Yeah. Well, that's I was trying to see where, or couldn't remember when it kicked off, but I like meticulously watch stuff because you would mention stuff in the podcast, and I would be like, I'm like, man, you could really like you know what I'm saying, like I'm more in tune now to like all the side characters, because like even on Untrained Eye, you explained what a prop and then a background thing was, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, which is it's definitely a little bit. And actually, on the I took a little bit of a hiatus from recording Failing Hollywood for a little bit, but we're actually coming back pretty strong, and we're kicking it off with, I just told this morning, like, which will be coming out this week. The first part of a two-parter, because we just sat down and we ended up going for like 3 hours. But there's a lot more stories on that one, because while we're actually working on the shows, we can't really talk about it on the show. And since the last season wrapped, I can actually talk about a lot of stuff's going on. Unfortunately, season 3 is moving to New York, so I won't be working on the next season. Unfortunately, just a little bit of a bummer, but I'll find my next thing. It'll be greater than ever. But we had a lot of stories just on this upcoming show of just shit that kind of happened on set and things that have gone on behind the scenes and stuff like that. And
that's what I'm talking about. You're gonna have to wait for his show to come out to hear it, because we ain't gonna no leaking the fucking good stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had a lot of the crew in for that one. At least two of the people on our crew talking about. Well, with Bill also, he worked with us a lot.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, with everything going on, it's just insane, because like everything's a slow season. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you said, you guys are getting ready to hit your slow season now, and it's just like you wouldn't think for movies there'd be a slow season, because obviously I would, summertime blockbusters are recorded during the winter, and so that's what my thought process would be.
Well, okay, so there's a thing about it for this particular slow season, because right now should be the start of what we call pilot season, which is like 3 to 4 months of just straight up nonstop new pilots. And then for anybody listening that doesn't know what a pilot is, it's the first episode of a show, and that's usually what they do to try to pitch the show to other people. So if you notice, like a lot of your favorite shows, if you go back to episode 1 on, like, I don't know, Netflix or whatever, you'll notice half the time the first episode is literally just called pilot. and then that's it. But that's kind of what it means, is that because they just don't name it, because they don't establish what the show is yet. So usually from February to, I don't know, late April, they do what we call pilot season, and you do nothing but jump around and do one episode of a bunch of shows. And then a lot of those shows go to all the networks, or there's a network trying it, and they're testing it, and they're showing it to like certain rooms of people to see, and then they have like a little pad and they figure out which they like and not. And then I'd say out of all those shows that go, I don't know, maybe like 15% of them will get picked up, and then they'll come back and we'll do a whole season. Well, I don't know if you guys have heard anything in the news lately, but Netflix, Apple TV, all this stuff, they're firing a lot of people, and they're letting go a lot of people right now, because they're starting to cut back on original content, because during the pandemic they kind of got hit hard with everybody watching, to where they were just starting to spit out everything. And then I think there was even like a South Park episode of like, oh, what won't Netflix pick up, or like everybody gets approved for everything. And that was the case for a while, so they're just fucking shitting out so much content, and now they realize, oh, now we have way too many people, too much stuff, and we're spending a lot of money, so they're starting to let go a lot of people. And a second reason that that's also happening is because there's a potential for a writer's strike coming up. And
nice.
Yeah, and that's not good for anybody in our industry, because it means we're not working.
No, that's understand that.
And that has historically happened, like, not to go down a huge history lesson, but that historically has happened twice that I could think of. And one first time it happened was back in, I want to say 91 or 92, and they had a writer strike and the whole industry went dead, and basically the reality TV show was born at that time. So nobody was working except for unscripted series like reality TV. And one of the first shows to come out that was reality is Cops.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Basically the first writer strike was the birth of Cops. And everybody will watch Cops at that point, and they're like, oh, fuck, we can make money by just taking a camera and following these guys around, and that's some content. So the second writer strike that happened was between 2007 and 2008. And unfortunately, that gave birth to a lot of like shit reality.
Yeah.
You're Keeping Up with the Kardashians was born. It was like the Real World and Road Rules was already out, but it was like kind of like boomed them back up again.
Yeah.
And
all those date shows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then it kind of gave birth to other shows like, I don't know, 90 Day Fiance, and like a lot of the ones that we see a lot of today. So networks are starting to kind of catch up with that. And now that we hear months before, like, oh, writers are going in negotiation, there's a good chance they might strike again. So they're trying to cover their ass right now. And they're like, well, you know what? How do we save money by not having to shut down a production? Let's not start the production. So they're not starting the scripted series purposely, because they don't want to shut down midway through. So they are backing stock their log of reality that they can shoot in case that this happens. So that's making it an extremely slow period in the industry right now. And I mean, it got a little depressing for me for a minute. I'm trying to get back into some different avenues and trying to like it really blasts your motivation a little bit. Say when you start to do nothing, you would think like, oh, well, I have time to do all this other stuff. For the wrong reasons, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
No, it definitely does. It definitely, because like I've been through those situations where you're like, well, I ain't got this source now. I got to start working on these new sources that I've been thinking or been trying to do, and now I'm starting to do them, and it's like I'm almost being forced to do something that I know I shouldn't have to do in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely been pushed like that many a times. It's just it's an insane feeling, and you're a union guy. I'm a union guy. Teamsters. We're just completely different divisions. I'm in a truck driving union. You're in you're the actors union, or what would it be?
I'm IATSE local 44, so it's like the International Alliance of Stagehands.
There you go.
And theatrical workers.
Yeah, nice.
And that is there's an umbrella of different locals in there. So I'm 44, but there's I think 14 different branches on that. So mine
is the same.
Yeah. So mine specifically is I can work doing set dressing. Specifically for me, my classification is as a prop master. Mm-hmm. So I'm the department head in the props. But that's my union.
Yeah, I'm always big on strikes, and the reason I'm always big on strikes is because people are truly unpaid by the machine. You know what I'm saying? But, everything has a time and place. And even though the work gets slow, a lot of times, you got to hold on to get an inch. You know what I'm saying? And that inch, it's not worth it now, but it'll be worth it later down the road. So that's how I always feel about, going on contracts and strikes. So like even with my union, they're getting ready to do into contracts again because we get to do it. I don't know about your guys's, but we do every 3 years.
We're every 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. And that's usually about average. And it's like pulling teeth, you know what I'm saying? I work for Costco, and Costco, like even in the last contract, they reported like multi-billions of dollars in profit. And they're like, well, we can't pay you more. And I'm like, well, let me ask you this question. You guys are going to release these quarterly reports. This is the best year ever. And just like the story goes, they're like, well, I'm like, well, let me tell you something right now. I've been working for Costco for almost 15 years now. And it's like come on. We Costco is one of those stores, almost recession proof, because like I've been through the pandemic. I've been through a few things with Costco where it's like the economy goes up and down, and I've never seen it slow down. You know what I'm saying? It's insane.
Yeah. We just had our contract negotiations a little bit less than a year ago, and we were very close to striking. And this is the whole of IA. So I was saying IATSE has that umbrella of that many unions. Everybody in that umbrella. This is the grips, the makeup, the props, set dressing, production design, art directors, the camera team, like everybody almost on a crew who's not above the line. So not the director, not the writers, not the thing, not the producers, but everybody else. Basically, they came out with the negotiations, and everybody was like, nah, we're going to strike. So think about the entire crew. When you have writers, at least you can do reality. If you lose the camera department and like the art, you got nothing. You can't shoot anything.
No logistics happening.
No logistics happening. So they came back, and basically I was like, nah, I think we're going to strike. And then they put out a vote to strike, and everybody voted yes. And then the producers backed up, and they're like, whoa. Here, actually, we might be able to move on.
Hey, whoa. Not so fast.
I think it was like 85% yes, or like 90. It was crazy. It was
that's huge, especially just at 80.
Yeah, it was so insane. So they backed up, and ours wasn't even. I mean, the pay was a little bit in there, but it was about livability. So because our industry, it's infamous for being like overworking, because we work on average 12 to 14-hour days most of the time.
Exactly.
And they try to get
turnaround too.
And with no turnaround, so they'll try to get you back. Like I think before we had a 9-hour turnaround, so it's that, and that's from like the minute they call wrap or you're done on the clock. To like and I live an hour away from usually where we shoot, so it's like I can get home, like by the time I shower, maybe get 5.5 hours of sleep and get back. So that was the big fight. And if they like push, they have to pay crazy much. And then we have a thing called rolling lunches a lot of times on shows, like mostly the bigger shows, like your Westworlds and stuff like that, and where they find it less efficient to break for lunch than to just keep going and then just finish out the days. So they used to just do that, and the penalties for that they would just pay through. So they made that way more substantial. Like if they do that, if they go for lunch like an hour and a half after when they should. You're making like Buddha bucks now.
Yeah.
So eventually you can make it worth it. And then now we have bigger turnarounds and stuff. There's a lot more, obviously, that we could fight for, but it's kind of like an eye-opening thing to make it happen to where they did backtrack and do it, because now we know for the next negotiations we're a lot stronger and we know that we can hold the upper hand.
Exactly. And that's one thing I love about the unions, because like there's so many people that talk shit. The union doesn't do nothing for you, doesn't do this. I was like, look, the union only works as hard as you work. If you protect yourself, you protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's things set to help you if you get in trouble. But if you're a good employee, guess what? The union should just be in the background and never on your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think those people, obviously, they're not in an industry where it would matter to them, and they don't really understand it fully, because like, what? Oh yeah. Oh, well, why are you in a fucking union? Like, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I like having health insurance. I do like having a pension also.
You know what I'm saying? Retirement for doing something I love.
I know, retirement. And then I'm about to have a kid. I kind of would like them to have free dental,
Yeah, exactly. No cost out of my pocket.
Yeah. I think I saw, like, because we got flashed like the thing that it would cost to like have a baby if we didn't have any insurance. We're about to have a kid, and it was like $40,000 or something like that.
Sometimes it's more depending on the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I think for us with insurance, like our final, like after everything, and it's just for most of the additional things that we just added in for. That's not covered. I think like the most we're paying is like $1,200. It's like,
hey, me too right now. That I'll do that. And I'm going to tell you something too. When you're in that delivery, or when you're in the room when the baby's being everything, there's going to be diapers, wipes. There's going to be take all that shit with you, because guess what? They have to toss it after you leave.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll take.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god,
I'll clean the house.
Exactly. I got 4 in the bag, so I know how it goes, man.
Yeah. No, my baby had a high heart rate during like an average checkup, and they sent us to the hospital. Yeah. And because right now, we're still like coming off of COVID. They still don't want you to like do the like they're not doing tours and stuff like that still. So we're like, well, it's weird. It's like, I don't know. I've been reading the baby book, and it was like, oh, do a tour of the hospital, but that doesn't say during COVID. Yeah. So it was like our indirect, like a little bit scary, but like we got to get a little bit of a tour of the hospital, because we had to go and get a room and get the hospital to get a bunch of stuff and tests over. So I was able to like kind of snoop around a little bit and be like, makes it easier to like figure out how to tackle it.
And this is one of my biggest pieces of advice I can give you. When you go to cut the umbilical cord, open the scissors all the way and then to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I ain't doing that shit.
You got to. You got it's cool.
Can do that. I have an aversion to blood, unfortunately.
Well, if you change your mind, you know now.
Yeah. Fair.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna tell you right now. It definitely it's a crazy thing once you start having kids, because it's like, whoa. The complete schedule change, complete lifestyle change. And let me tell you something right now. I don't care what your wife says. Be noisy all day. Do everything you would normally do, because guess what? If you're quiet around the baby's going to expect that quiet. But if you're loud, you're noisy, you have the radio up, your TV on, you're doing things, and that baby falls asleep, that baby will sleep. You know what I'm saying? So it's setting that schedule. It's like, don't tiptoe around the baby. I'm not going to be loud, but I'm going to get up and rustle and do shit. I'm going to fucking.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because like if the house has to be perfectly quiet, then guess the fuck what? They ain't never going to sleep.
No, totally. Yeah, I get it. I mean, with our dogs, it's definitely never going to be quiet because
Yeah.
they're always fucking yelling at the door. Not shutting up. But I
Oh,
am
yeah.
happy I built the studio off of the garage since it's
Yeah.
not connected to anything. So I kind of
Yeah.
have my own offset little sanctuary here too.
That's it. Nice little side spot. It's funny as hell because like I've had 3 opportunities to come down there and see you, but man, every time I wanted to come down, it's like I can't stay, or like something popped up, and I'm like, God, freaking damn it! I keep trying because you're down in LA,
Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita,
Yep.
and like I said, I'm up over here in the Bay Area, and it's like you have to pass where you're at to even get into LA.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know what route you take. I'm off the 14, but some people take the 14 through Lancaster and all that stuff, or the 5. But either way, I'm in Santa Clarita. It's not too hard to get to. But when you do decide to stop by, I mean, you always got a room here. There's
thank you, brother.
To stay. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Oh man, you know what? With everything you do for props and everything that, could you like? I know you went to school specifically for this, but was it specifically for props, or you just kind of fell into that?
No, I think we talk a little bit about it on a new show I'm doing called Prop Talk, which is specifically just about props, and that's kind of a side show I'm doing for our prop guild. That's going to come out with like big famous prop masters and stuff like that. But we mentioned it a little bit on this past episode that there is no school for props specifically. There's no school for specifically like gaffing or gripping specifically. It's all learned trade. You know what I mean? So here's what I went to school for. I went to film school, and the way that I went to film school down in Florida, a school called Full Sail University, and it was set up so you could it was accelerated. So what that means is we got our bachelor's degree in 22 months.
Damn.
So it was just fast, and we were going to school 10 hours a day pretty much, switching class. So you were going to school all the time. Sometimes we had classes at 1 a.m. And the way they would do it is each month was set up like a semester.
Yeah.
So pretty much it was a month per semester. And in that 1 month, we had 2 different courses that we were taking. And let's say this semester would be history of film and lighting, where you would learn all the lighting stuff and then graduate that. Next month, we were doing directing, and the second one was writing. You know what I mean? So then we're learning all that, and we're doing all that stuff. The next month after that, we're doing art department and production design. So you're learning almost every single position to an extent, by a department head down, essentially, in the film industry and the breaking off. So I initially went to film school being like, oh, I'm going to direct and edit, because when I grew up, I was like the only one ever around my group that came up with all the ideas, shot everything, edited everything, directed everything. So my friends all just kind of showed up and just did what I told them to do, and then we would shoot stuff. You know?
Man.
So out of that, and that's just me like being passionate about it, wanting to film something, but I didn't have a breakout. Now, when you go to film school, every single person in that school is in the same position you were, where they were all that person to direct. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to direct, to where I found out it's like, oh, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be granted the best director in some situation. I think I would make an amazing music video director, but I almost took that path for a minute until I realized I just don't like working with artists. Musical artists. They're very cocky a lot of the times. They're unpunctual, especially in the hip hop industry, which is where I was mostly sitting. And I talk about that on Failing Hollywood this week. A couple stories there. They're just not very respectful of the crew. So I kind of like diverted a little bit from that. And basically at film school, I kind of realized after we took our art department classes that that's kind of a field I really liked. I liked the concept of being the person that creates the universe around you in a film movie. So you could think of it like, oh, the director, if you look at any piece of media or whatever, mostly I guess would be like a movie or something like that. You have to think that it's 3 people's creative visions put together. It's 1/3 of everybody, and that's the director, who's in charge of the talent and making sure that the action in the movie is there, and they're the ones who direct that. You have your cinematographer, who's the guy in charge of capturing everything and making sure the angles are right and putting in. And then you have your production designer, who's in charge of the universe and creating that to be in. So if it's like Mars, it's their job to make it look like you're on fucking Mars.
Yeah.
If it's like an underground bunker, it's their job to create that universe. And I was way more into that concept than anything else. Like I was like, well, I was doing a lot of shrooms back then too. So it's like when you're tripping or whatever, you're creating certain universes for yourself. So I think that kind of guided me a little bit into being like, I want to be in this field and doing that. So fresh out of college, I kind of knew I'm going to be somewhere in the art department, if not actually being the person that designs and creates the universe, which is what I started doing. But then as I started to do it more, I kept walking over to the table of the toys and playing with all that stuff and wanted to know more about the functionality and the history behind this toy. And then I'd never touched guns before that. And I go to the guns. I was like, I should take this apart for me. Like, show me how the functionality of this works. Like, how does this go together? Like, what makes a fucking bullet go off? Like, where's the primer? What's all this? Like, tell me what. So I liked the idea of learning all the history behind the toys and figuring things out. And then there's a different term for that, because a production designer doesn't get to actually sit down and have a conversation with the actor and go through and teach them how to do it, where a prop master gets to sit down and be like, all right, here's how we use all this. Here's a history behind this. And here's a functionality. You want to play with it? Show me. Ask me what questions you ask. So you can actually create a bond with these people to, in turn, what's going to show up more directly on the camera. Like, somebody had to teach Woody Harrelson in Zombieland how to do that like cock spin on the fucking shotgun that he has. You know what I mean? They have to teach these cool tricks. Like, I mean, half the time you got to teach this actor how to do a bong rip properly, because there's a billion stoners out there that's gonna watch it and go, "Oh, he didn't pull the carb, man, or he didn't pull the slider and clear it. Like, he's not a real smoker." Like, my job is to make it so there aren't. I have nobody questioning whether that person knows how to take a bong rip or not.
Oh,
man, that's an example.
That's it. Hey, me tell you that's freaking. Like I said, what I love is, like, especially on because my podcast, it's all motivational, and I do go off on the rails sometimes when shit gets me mad. But I love speaking to people who are doing what they love, for a living. It's a passion. It's a lifestyle. You work real hard to get into there. You fell into it, and now you're doing it, and you're being successful at it, and it's so freaking insane. Because I remember when, the Inner Circle, we have a huge, text message, group chat, and it goes off. But when you were like, "Hey, check this out," I was like, "What the fuck? Oh, that's high level shit."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nick Cage. I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about being able to work. I mean, it's a give and take type of industry, because it is independent, and I do work on a job-to-job basis. So, like, where we say times right now, which I do have a little pocket of money saved that's kind of getting me through right now, so I don't have to work, since there is not really work there. And I'm over the point where I'm assisting, so I'm only taking jobs that I want to take.
Yeah,
which is a very it's a advancing moment in your career when you can kind of start to step back and do that. But the jobs that you do get, and a lot of times they're not amazing, but then a lot of times you'll get a fucking gem, whether it be just a pickup unit for a few weeks, like the Nick Cage thing was.
Yeah.
But there's like some really important things we did on that made it into the movie, and were really comedic moments that I got to come up with and throw in, and I got to play around with Nick Cage on that movie and kind of walk him through how to do this. Speaking of Nick Cage, did you just see the trailer for the new vampire movie that
it's gonna be Nick Cage
so
when Nick's classic. It looks so freaking good.
So good.
Oh man, like I said, they talk about jealousy. You sit into Nick Cage trying to explain to, because I just assume he plays himself in every single movie, and that's just how he is. And so, like, if you're sitting there, like, explain something, he's like, "Okay, all right," and then all of a sudden he executes.
This could work. I sure as hell hope it works, because I'm the one that will be blamed if it doesn't.
Oh
No,
my
yeah,
god.
you're right. He like, I honestly, I was very worried, like breaking things down to him because there wasn't a lot of like personality to him when he was like when you're like trying to show him how to do something. But he kind of turns it on and got it in like one take. Because it's just, I was like, I'm giving this guy a lot to do, and he seems like, and you don't know with actors, a lot of times like when they've done it a long time, they start to get older. Like you just keep them around for the name, and they get a little bit senile at some point. I was like, maybe he's past the point. And then they turned it on, and he fucking performed perfectly and did everything that I taught him. It was fucking amazing. I was like, it's motherfucking Nick Cage right there.
Nick motherfucking Cage. Me, my wife, and my son, we went to the day it came out, we went to the theaters to watch it. And I was just like blown. I was like, this might be just one of the best fucking movies he's ever made. And then when the airport scene happened, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. Oh man! When you, I can't remember the name of the actor. He's a comedian, and he was playing. Yeah. Oh, that guy is so freaking. He is so quick witted too. I can only imagine like if you guys were doing takes or something like that where he was just fucking riffing off of it or something.
Oh yeah, we did all of the scenes with him because I don't know the movie. I don't know if we mentioned the movie yet. It's Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. If you haven't seen it, guys, that's the movie we're talking about. But yeah, there was a different character originally playing that part, and he just. I mean, I saw the original cut, and it was with that character, and he was just like a slob stoner kind of dude, and he wasn't that funny. So they kind of just cut him up or cut him out of the whole movie, and they got Ike Barinholtz to kind of like fill in. So we reshot all the scenes with Ike instead, and a lot of them were him just riffing and were fucking fantastic. And he's just amazing and a really, really funny actor too. So it was good to have around, and it was pretty awesome having them. Yeah, we only did 3 weeks. Did you stay in the theater and see my name on the third string?
Yes, it was long. I had to wait.
It's like it was like third set crew.
That's it. Oh man. Like I said, I know it's you, but we're in the same network, the same group. I'm like, I feel like the pride that I have, and I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah,
I'm that guy. I know that. I know who did that. Yeah, that's my good buddy.
Yeah, in theaters we usually make it a point if there's something to like stick around for it, because I typically do 90% of the time episodics and stuff like that. So my name usually it's hard to see because the whole next episode like bar like goes and it reloads before you can even get to my name, and I was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah,
you can watch the fucking credits.
That's it. All the credits, goddamn.
All the credits. Yeah. I mean, in a TV show, it's not very long. Movie, you got to sit fucking through everything, and sit through the credits, because you know what? I think that's a big thing for everybody. I mean, and not just movies that I'm in, because you might start to see like people that you recognize, and then you could start to look up. Like you'll start to notice, oh, this DP, the cinematographer.
Yeah.
And you look them up, and you're like, all my favorite movies are done by this cinematographer. There might be something to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There might be similarities, like, oh, that's why all those are my most beautiful watched movies of all time. And then you can find some fucking gems that
things you had never seen.
No, you have to recognize names and stuff. And these people give their entire lives, like they miss their kids' birthdays to like be there to give you a fucking 2-hour movie to enjoy.
Oh so. I tell you, like, I'm gonna just switch gears a little bit. Like talking about Netflix earlier, stuff like that. Yeah. I've had a slew of international movies being dubbed and pushed over onto my feed. So I'm getting a lot of like movies from Ireland, and I don't know if they're recorded from Ireland. A lot of movies from Sweden, that Nordic area of wherever wherever Sweden is. Yeah. It's like you're getting all these things and these international films, but the distinction of how things are recorded over there and how things are recorded over here it's just so different, because these every one of them seems to have this dark tint on them. You know what I'm saying? And
that might be because of just Northern Europe just naturally has a dark tint on it.
It's very true. Yeah, they never see sun. That is very true. I wouldn't have thought of that, but it's like almost every single one of them. I'm like, why is it just like this like shade of gray? Like it almost looks like it's having a filter on it at all times.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was like I had a friend that just went up. He's like, thing about London is just it's just gloomy all the time. I was like, well, that could be it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We live on the West Coast, and it's like happy days all the damn time. We get rain here and there, but it's not too bad. Or it is bad when we get it, but it passes.
It's been bad this year. I mean, I don't know if it's been as bad in San Francisco as it has been down here. We just had like 2.5 months straight of nonstop rain, and that's absurd for Southern California.
No, that is like, and it's been the same up here. But the thing is all the lakes, all the rivers, all the reservoirs are like almost to max capacity, and it's like, and like I said, I say it all the time. We always need the rain, but then you get those people who say, "Fucking stop saying that shit." And I don't want to deal with it. Like, motherfucker, you don't know what it is to be in a drought.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh man, but yeah, no, it's been insane. But with the rains and stuff like that, but like, and that's what had me like watching all these international movies that are coming out, because I'm like, I've seen everything on Netflix, everything on Hulu, everything that I wanted to watch, or even had an inkling of like, I'm gonna make sure I check that out, and I've gone through everything that I've, basically like Netflix and all the streaming services, basically, even Tubi.
How about HBO Max? You've been watching The Last of Us?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting. But I'm waiting for a few more episodes because I just got done watching the season. And if you haven't seen this, I'm gonna recommend it. Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone on Paramount Network.
What's
that? Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
It is so freaking good. Sylvester Stallone's old as fuck, and he plays a gangster, in the movie, or the TV show, and it's phenomenally done. It's like he carries the show, but everyone else plays their part correctly. And it's
plays like a mob gangster.
Yeah, really? Just fresh out of jail, mob gangster, and he gets shunned down to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And as soon as he lands, he already's got shit popping, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying?
Damn. What is this on Netflix or?
No, it's on Paramount Plus or Paramount. It's one of the Paramount. It's either Paramount Plus or Paramount Network. It's because there's like two versions of it.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, speaking of credits and Paramount Plus, I just got to plug a thing real quick. We just came out with Teen Wolf the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Teen Wolf the movie just came out on Paramount Plus. So for everybody that liked Teen Wolf back in the day, the movie just came out. In a reiteration of that, I prop mastered the Los Angeles unit. I'll be in the credits of that one too. But they just broke a record on Paramount Plus for most views on a movie in a day.
Okay.
So they
10 records.
Yeah, so they broke a record for one of the most watched things.
All right, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Teen Wolf.
Yeah, I don't know what the reviews on it or anything were, but I know we worked hard on that and did go. Bill worked on it too. So
okay.
Yeah, so
that's it.
Got to play with like wolf stuff and some guns and some just all kinds of things. All kinds of fun stuff.
Nice. Like I said, I've been reaching deep into everything that I've been watching because I got tired of rewatching everything I've been rewatching because that's apparently what people do when they ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah, you don't got to tell me. We just blasted through The Office again. So,
give me a quick list of movies that you've done.
Oh boy. Let me pull out is this like a hard, like, I think this question goes in when I usually, when I'm doing like the movie card game when an actor comes up and you're like, oh, what is it?
Like, God damn it. And I want to say I'm undefeated still.
Yeah, probably. We just played last night again too, and it was like so because we got Jim Carrey up for one of them. And
oh my God.
I think I listed like 10 movies, and there were still like I missed Liar Liar. I missed like so many fucking good. Oh, I think we missed Eternal Sunshine. Like there were so many good movies that we missed that were just like, oh my God.
13. It's like, oh my God. There's so many. There's so like just off Jim Carrey. Like it's like I can go all the way back to Once Bitten. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, a minute's just not enough time to actually.
Yeah. Just one character right there. Yeah. Jim Carrey was a beast.
All right, well, I'll go through. Here's my known fors.
All right, that's what we need.
Yeah, on IMDb, the 4 known fors we'll start with, which is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talents, number 1 on there.
Nice.
I did do the Los Angeles pickup unit for Fast 9. So Fast and Furious 9.
Nice. Love that movie.
Under the Silver Lake. I don't know why that's under the known fours. One of my first movies is on the known fours too, where I was just a props intern pretty much, was Spring Breakers when I was living down in Florida.
And everyone in the age group of this podcast knows that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That one came out in 2012. So I worked on that in 2011. So yeah, more than, it was 12 years ago or something like that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And then we'll go through. So Teen Wolf, the movie I did, American Horror Stories we were talking about.
Yeah.
I did 2 seasons there. I worked on He's All That, which some people in the inner circle really liked.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Fast 9, we talked about that. I worked on Penny Dreadful.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, Call the Wild. There we go. Call the Wild.
Call the Wild. Man, didn't even realize you did that one.
Yeah, Call the Wild with Harrison Ford. Funny story quickly about that one is we shot that one up in Santa Clarita in the dead of summer.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Anybody that knows Santa Clarita knows it's a fucking desert. Yeah. So we had 115-degree days, and this movie takes place in Alaska. So in winter.
Yeah.
So they built like a Western looking town, which I mean, we've all seen a Western.
Yeah.
You can all picture it. They have that dirt, straight, flat road.
Yeah. All the building on the side.
All building on the side with the little balconies and stuff like that. All your shops and the straight road. And then they kind of covered it with diffusion is what we call it, which is pretty much just like a clear white tarp that goes over that you can blast white light through. And instead of, it's like basically when you frost a light bulb.
Oh, okay.
How it like diffuses the light so it just doesn't beam on one thing.
Yeah.
So they put that over the entire town, almost like a tent built over it.
Damn.
And then they had 5 ice trucks, like with huge cubes and whole teams, like, and there were big conveyor belts. They would just take a block like the size of me and just push it onto a conveyor belt, and it went into this giant ice grinder, and they had these huge tubes that they'd come out and just blast the entire street with fresh snow. And it's a sled dog movie, so they blast the whole city with fake snow, and then they would have all the dogs were animated, so it was all on a winch, the sled. They'd ride it down the middle of the street, and then I would come through as a prop person and run down the street, grab the sled, and bring it back up the road, and we'll do another thing. And then since it's 115 degrees out, I mean, that tent will hold some of the cool for a little bit, but only for so long. So over time, the snow starts melting. And we had
mud everywhere.
Super muddy. And we had an issue on the show where they didn't get really the drainage of the street correctly. Like so it would start to just puddle in. And their solution was like, well, we can't take forever to figure out this problem. So what we're going to do is just blast a new layer of snow over it. By the end of the day, you're running down, grabbing the sled, coming back, and you walk through the snow and just go.
Yep.
You're about knee deep and just straight slush and snow.
That's it. No shoe coming back up.
Coming back up. Yeah, so it was kind of funny the way they did it. I mean, impressive that they could actually pull it off, because you walk out, you're like, how are we doing in Alaskan?
Yeah, I can only imagine how much it costs to just 115 degrees. Yeah, exactly. Like all budget right there. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Other shows I worked on Glow as an assistant property master for years. Did a couple seasons of Glow, which was a very, very fun experience. I did a couple episodes of the OA. Heathers, which really only, I think, came out for 2 episodes before it got canceled. They canceled it due to the school shootings got really big at the time. And I think that was a heavy plot point in Heathers. So just wrong timing.
Damn.
Westworld, I did a couple seasons of Westworld.
Nice. I like that show.
Yeah, which just got canceled. Let me see what else. Yeah, the Teen Wolf and Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal, the movie with Johnny Depp playing Donald Trump.
I don't think I've seen that one. I'm gonna have to write. What was it called again?
Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal, the movie. It's a Funny or Die hour-long skit, pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that one out a little later.
We also did a little bit of. I did Fresh Off the Boat, Drunk History, and here's a movie that I think it's an independent movie that I did really early on. It was one of my first Property Master credits. It's kind of the one that's like a little bit in deep, but it's the one that I probably had the most fun on working as a movie that a lot of people haven't heard about. It's a movie called Band of Robbers. Highly recommend it to anybody. If you can find it, look up the movie. Hannibal Buress is in it.
Okay.
And you'll notice some other comics that you definitely recognize. But yeah, it's pretty deep in the vault. It's hard to find for a lot of people. It was independent, so it didn't really get a lot of, but I highly recommend the movie to everybody because it's just such a funny, awesome movie. It's basically a Tom and Huck story.
Yeah.
But if they were adults in the modern age living. So it's, fun treasure hunt, like type of deal. There's some gun blasts, some chasing around and finding it. It's a lot of fun. Matthew Gray Gubler's in it too, the nerdy guy from that famous hospital show that I can't think of right now.
Scrubs.
Not Scrubs. It's I'm gonna get shit for this, but that doesn't matter. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Or Grey's Anatomy.
Nope. It might be actually like a crime show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, it's just
Criminal Minds. There we go.
Yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. That guy's
yeah,
yeah, that white guy.
Yeah. So those are some of the big ones out of my catalog, I guess.
They're
only going to get bigger. They're only going to get bigger.
It's a deep catalog.
Yeah, it's a deep catalog. I also worked on. I did a couple weeks on a movie, on Zack Snyder's new movie that's going to be coming out later this year. I think
nice
or whatever. So Zack Snyder's new movie. I had a little bit of something to help out on that one too.
Oh, here we go. Can't talk about it quite yet, then.
No, I will say, because working on that was like, I don't know, when you step on set to something at that caliber, it's like stepping on set of any of the Star Wars shows or whatever, which I haven't done. I've been offered a couple times, but I've been busy, unfortunately. But stepping on set of a Zack Snyder movie it's just another caliber. Like you walk on something that's a $200 million production compared to something that's just like a $20 million production.
Yeah.
Like there's huge spaceships and stuff like that. And
I can only imagine. Fuck.
It's literally insane. A new universe. Like you're not on the same planet anymore.
like this is the echelon that I need to hit. This is that next level.
Yeah.
And my God.
Every prop is absolute custom, like designed and out of the mind of the prop master. So it's like really when you're getting to creating things as opposed to finding things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a new level.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and I know you're gonna get to that new level because guess the fuck what? You've been fucking putting into work, getting shit done, being hands-on, down and dirty. Like I gotta get this done, and I only want high quality shit. And you've been fucking doing it, brother. I like I said, I'm on the sidelines watching. Yeah,
I'm trying to learn new skills too to like I don't know, enhance a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm thinking about looking into like a forging class. I was like, well, maybe I can make my own fucking old blades and stuff like that. I can't find them. Like, it's the best you can do. You can create it yourself. Figure out how to do that shit yourself.
Exactly. Get a little blacksmithing class. Fucking figure it out. Also, too, start welding, start forging. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got like maybe even 3D printing, because like there's so many things in. Like on social media, you see people 3D print. I can only imagine how hard it is. They just make it seem very simple. So when you start 3D printing custom ass shit, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're looking into it a lot more too. We actually we use 3D printers a lot on the shows that we're doing. So we have a 3D printer that we use on our trailer every once in a while, but a lot of the bigger stuff we use like the heavy set 3D printers in the big shops and have them kind of like help out with the design and do it. But what I'm trying to do ahead of that right now is like I'm starting to take Google SketchUp classes so I can learn how to digitally design and create my own props.
Yeah.
Digitally. So I can give a concept and then hopefully be able to actually just print out my digital concepts. That
make like that wireframe style and
just to make anything enough to where you can like just create the actual prop, whether it be like I don't know, a futuristic weapon or whatever, and then where you can just kind of hit print and then you can have like a model of it and be able to just make whatever the fuck you want. So
that's
I'm
taking
steps to try to figure out how to do that too. Like there's so many skills you could figure out how to do and learn and try to make things a little bit easier. And I mean, I want to learn as much as I can. So
Yeah, no, and then that's what you're doing. It's like I said, it's insane just hearing it come from you, because what it is like, you know, the aspirations of trying to get to that next level is like, I need to learn how to do this. I need it. You never stop learning. You're always growing. You're always pushing. And you're always aware of your situation. So like, just by seeing that and doing that, you're like, I need to step this up, because guess what? Every time I take that next step, it fucking jumps you up, man. It's fucking crazy.
yeah, it's also, I think you talk about this sometime. It's also surrounding yourself with the right people and the right mentors and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think that's like super important. Like the people that don't make it in this industry are people that like start to look at themselves. I mean, you can look at yourself as a teacher, but when you know that I've hit my capacity, I've learned it all. I don't think there is a point in this industry, or maybe any industry, where you know every single thing about it. I always think there's more to learn. I always think there's more different people that you could look up to, whether it be them just knowing different skills as you that you want to kind of know as. Like right now, like I think I almost did start to become too comfortable a little bit, or thinking that I had most of it figured out, until I walked on the set of that Zack Snyder movie. And I started working with that prop master, because I mean, that prop master that did that one, like, I mean, he did the Obi-Wan show. Like he did Avatar 2 and 3. Like,
man, talk about movie dropping.
He prop mastered some of the biggest, most expensive titles in the industry, where, I mean, you work on those shows, like they don't have you submit a budget. They say, here's a blank check, buy everything. Like
make it happen.
Like there's no limits to what you can do. And working with that guy kind of gave me a new perspective, and like made me want to be better, because like a lot of prop masters, you see, they start to work and then they go to their trailer. You never really see them on set. They just expect you to know what you're doing, which is fine. I mean, you hire people that you could trust and do, but you don't really see them. They're like receded. This guy, at the caliber he's at, which is so big, like he's popping on set, and then he's like, oh, what's the deal here? And he's jumping in to like do minute problems that the fourth broom down usually is the person to try to like just little wiring issues, which isn't an issue. It's just like that. And he's jumping in and he's helping out with, like, give props to one of the 300 background. That's just somebody that we're probably never going to see or whatever. And he's just having fun with it and jumping in. And then he, like, you hear stories that he's starting to tell. He jumps to the truck. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I had this idea for something that like I was to do. And I have a team of concept artists, but I just really wanted to portray the vision more accurately. And I feel like it would have taken too long to go through it. So I just designed it myself real quick and then showed them what my idea was. And I was like, damn, like this guy, not only is he still at the caliber where he's like talking to like the high and he's coming up with the thing, but he still loves the craft so much that he's jumping in. He's learning a lot of this stuff. Like he's hanging out with his crew. He's like getting in the down and dirty and helping out in every possible way he can. Like he'll show up and just say, how can I help you guys? What do we need here? You know what I mean?
And that's a good leader. You know what I'm saying? That's something, that's someone to look up to, because it's like, no, I'm not too big for this. You know what I'm saying? Here's my title, but you know, I'm still going to be here handling shit personally, because guess what? I know you can do it, but I want to make sure that it's being done correct. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not in a micromanaging way at all either. Like he fully trusts us. He's not stepping a job. It's more of, oh, how can I jump in line with whatever you guys got going on?
Exactly. Let me help you. What needs to get done? You know what I'm saying? And that's a good feeling.
And it's a good feeling. Like I was going home and I was just like, I want to do better. Like I want to be that guy, like, especially it's passionate after all these years and do it. And also just like I want to surround myself with these types of people, like these mentors, like the people that I could keep asking questions for and keep learning from, you know.
For real. No, that's no joke right there. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the passion I love to see. That's the shit. Like I said, when I'm always talking about getting shit done and doing what you want and changing your environment to get to that level, it's just like how you're speaking, just like how you're talking, just like how I see this guy. And you know what? I want to emulate that, because guess what? That's the next level. That's the better situation. That's the way I want to be conducting and portray myself, because I want to be that kind of a leader, that kind of a worker, and I want to demonstrate what I can do. And then also demonstrate where I can improve. You know what I'm saying? Because, like nobody's fucking perfect. And when you're trying to be Mr. Perfect sitting at the fucking top, no one fucking respects you because all they do is talk shit behind you. But if you're not, because you're just standing alone, you know what I'm saying? And when you're in the group shooting ideas, taking information and just working back and forth, you know what I'm saying? That like I've had managers and bosses and supervisors that were just like, nope, I'm too good for this. And then I've had those like, nah, I'll help you. And guess what? I've always, you respect that more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's it. Man, brother, I had you on for an hour. It didn't even seem like it.
Yeah.
Well, here I don't want to hold you up too much long because it is Sunday. And man, tell the people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Failing Hollywood. We're Failing Hollywood on Instagram. There hasn't been very much there, but hopefully we're starting to rear things back into gear a little bit more, getting more motivated. I'm listening more Angry Dad to get me back on my grind, get back into it. But yeah, find me at Failing Hollywood anywhere. You can find Failing Hollywood anywhere. You can stream podcasts and stuff like that on innercirclepn.com, of course. And then check out my new show, which I'm more a producer. I play the producer seat, but I have a voice in it every once in a while. So this is from the top prop masters in the industry. Like, I think we're talking a little bit more. Like, we had the prop master that did all of Sopranos on recently, and the guy that did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was hosting it, and the guy that did Austin Powers. Like, so, I mean, a lot of these prop guys on some of our favorite things ever growing up sit in the room and talk about prop stuff. We just did an episode on the Rust incident, and these are from the people that handle the guns and the props in the highest caliber in our industry. So forget your news articles about like the whole Alec Baldwin thing like that. If you want real information, this is going to be the table you want to sit in at. So check it out. It's called Prop Talk. Prop Talk. So, and I think we're going to be, the first episode is probably going to be coming out either a week or two from now. You said this drops on Monday. Yeah, usually a week or two from now, and then probably bi-weekly after that, hopefully weekly. First episode is women prop masters in Hollywood. Second is going to be the Rust situation. Nice. So,
and I'll put it in the show notes so everyone can easily find it and locate it.
Awesome. Yeah. All
right.
Great. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, brother. I appreciate it. And let me take us out of here. I'm the Angry Motherfucking Dad. You want to watch my shit? IGTV, YouTube. You want us to Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud, Deezer, iHeartRadio. This motherfucker's there. You can easily fucking find it. Rate, review, like, subscribe, all that bullshit. We're also part of the Inner Circle Podcast Network, group of powerful podcasters out there sharing their shit. InnerCirclePN.com will take you every one of our websites, every one of our shows, every one of our platforms. Make sure you check it the fuck out. We have shows as Failing Hollywood, The Creatures of the Night, The Hood Diner, The Untrained Eye, The Plunge, Simmons and More podcasts, and shit happens when you party naked, too hot for the fucking internet, so it has to be on Patreon/Team Almy. So make sure you go check it the fuck out, and we'll see y'all motherfuckers on the next one. Fuck.
Never die. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living.